Hey guys, the Philippine Info Channel here. My name's Justin. Today I want to talk about hiring handyman to do work and also buying electrical appliances at the store. So even if you have a condo, you might buy a refrigerator, you might buy a toaster oven or some small appliance. I want to give you my experience on buying those. But if you've got cheaper apartments like mine, it's under $60 a month, and I put in maybe $1,200 into it when I first moved in, as far as paint, electrical work, water heater, air conditioning. Got a 3-year lease, so I figure even with putting $1,200 or $1,500, whatever it was, into it, it's still a pretty good deal per month. So if you got a cheaper place, you're going to be hiring handyman to improve it unless you do all the work yourself. First thing I learned is when you ask anybody if you say, oh, I need this job done, whether it's electrical, painting, any plumbing, everybody will say they can do it because they don't have work and they want work, so they'll say they do it. And a few of them I ask, have you ever done this before? And they actually admitted no, they've never done it, but they can do it. So ask around, especially the other expats, ask them who they recommend, who's done a job before. And I did that, and I got good information, both good and bad, about different people. So then the other thing to do is have one person responsible for a job. And I'll tell you a story about Steve and another guy. They both had doors replaced. These doors are made with rails and panels, and they tend to sag. Doors here don't go to the ground. There's usually made without thresholds on the bottom, and those are almost impossible to find. The one I did find was very thin, like a 1/4 inch. I put door sweeps on all my doors to keep the bugs out, but the doors are usually installed with no threshold across the bottom for it to seal up against, and they're hard to get. But Steve had a door built, and it was delivered while he was not here, and then he was going to have another guy put it on, because we used to have 2 guys here that did a lot of work around our places, and both of them have left. One of them, he was had been trained on electrical. He was also a welder. He did the outside painting on my house, but he's gone down south. So he was going to install the door when he was still here, and the door was delivered, and then the other guy went to install it. The door was too big, and Steve had this custom made off the measurements of the old door. So have one guy responsible and have him install everything, and then you're a lot better off. The other guy who had a door made, installed, the hardware put on it, everything, all is one price, and then didn't pay until it was totally in. You're better off that way than having something done by one guy and then having the guy you usually use finish off the job, because there could be problems. Next thing is put down all the details of what you want done. The reason I say this is windows you see installed around here, even newer windows, above the window frame, between that and the top of the sill there's sometimes a 1/4 or 1/2 inch crack of daylight coming through, and also around the edges. They will put in a window here and not use any caulk or anything else to actually seal between the window frame and the building. Same thing on doors. If you want no daylight showing, you better write that down and have whoever's doing agree to that, or a threshold or anything else you want done. It's like they put up rain gutters here, and that the owner paid for and did it. But both here and another place I lived, the owners put up rain gutters. Well, they built the rain gutters here on site. They joined them together, put them up, and then both places, when it rained, water came through every seam between the sections, and also between where the rain gutter went into the downspout. You could see daylight through it when it wasn't raining, but when it rained, it all just leaked because they don't caulk it, they don't finish the job. So here they do what you ask, but they don't do the finishing touches like often in America that's included in the job. I had an electrician come here. He didn't bring a ladder or the air conditioning guy. I supplied the ladder, and on electrical, I got, well, two of the bids I got. One was for 12,000 pesos, and the other one was for 50,000 pesos. It was 6 plugs, 2 breakers for the air con and the water heater, and the wiring, and forget what else. But anyway, there was a huge difference between it, but both of them expected me to go get the parts. And I said, no, I don't know where all the electrical warehouse supply businesses are. There's Ace Hardware here. There's a couple other hardware stores. But I figure they're the ones who do electrical every day. They should know where to go get parts. So I said, no, I want the parts included. And that those quotes were parts included. But I was kind of surprised that even they were thinking that way, that they would just come do the job and I'd have everything available for them. And other guys have said the same thing, where they'll hire somebody, but they're expected to get whatever's needed for the job. Then, this is a real key one, is only give them the information of what you want right now. What I mean by this is, don't say, well, I want this electrical done because later I want this other part done, or add later I want this done, or they'll either want to do it or start to do it and then want more money. And it's the same thing like when I'm riding a taxi up in Makati and I'm going back to the PTEX bus station in Paranaki. I say, I want to go to PTEX. And then the driver will go, well, where are you going? And I say, oh, I'm going back to Cavite province, to Tracy. And he starts going there. And it's like, no, I want to go to PTEX. They take the extra information and go with it. A guy here, he went to a furniture maker, a real good furniture maker, and he had 3 cabinets he was thinking about, but he only wanted one built. But he showed the carpenter the drawings of all 3, the sizes of what he wanted, just to get the price of the 3 different cabinets. Well, the cabinet maker, he went and built all 3 of them. And then, of course, he expects the money because he's a small business, and it's kind of it's him and a couple helpers, so he can't really afford to build things and not get paid for them. So only tell him what you want now, not what you're planning on doing. Like when I had the air conditioning guy come and give me a bid, and I told him where I wanted it, and I said, you know, I had him come before the electrician, because I said, do you want the electric box here with the breaker in it to hook up? And then he wanted to do that. And it's like, no, you only give the information, tell him what you want now. After it's done, then you can go back and get more information of your next step in what you're doing. Electrical, I usually do all myself. I've wired houses. I've done everything in the U.S. myself. But my eyes aren't quite what they were, and I was wiring into live 220, and I don't want to take a chance of getting the voltage through me. So I hired an electrician to do that part. Now, after that experience of electrician, then I was next putting in the water heater, installing that on the wall. The faucet, I raised the spigot up 1 foot and then put in a rainfall shower. I didn't want to deal with trying to get someone to do what I wanted, so I went ahead and did all that myself, which was not a problem. But the other part of it was I didn't have the tools here, the drills and saws and whatever. So I hired it at first, but then I thought it's just cheaper for me to buy the tools and do what I can do. Then let's see what else on, I guess that's about it for hiring. Let's talk about buying appliances. When you buy anything electrical, like even a light bulb, they will test it. They'll take it out of the box, test it, make sure it works. My water heater, I bought it, and it's like, I just wanted to take it. And they go, no, we have to fill out the warranty card for you, and we have to test it, make sure the light comes on. Doesn't mean the heater works, they just want to see the light come on. Same thing with toaster oven. The refrigerator, I went to buy one. They wanted to take it out of the box, unpack it from the factory packing, plug it in after they moved it from the back room and tilted it. And I said to the guy, well, I thought I was supposed to sit 2 hours to let the air bubble settle down before you start it, before you plug it in. He goes, no, 5 hours. You need to let it sit 5 hours, let it rest before you plug it in. I said, then why are you plugging it in now? And of course, no answer. But then I said, I want it moved from the store to my apartment in the factory packing. I don't want it all pulled apart and then thrown on a truck. So I said, I'm not buying it. I did find a store that would sell me one and bring it from the warehouse to my house without it being tested or unpacked. And that's the one I bought and brought home. Just bought a toaster oven the other day. They wanted to test that, and it's like, no, I just bought it, and there's like, oh no, we have to test it. And it's like, no, I'm just taking it home, and there might be a problem with it, and that's why they want to test it to make sure it's good. But like the refrigerator, they would have tested it in the store. Well, who knows if it gets damaged? And that's the other thing. They want me to inspect the outside in the store, sign that it's good, and then they were going to transport it to my house. And if it got damaged, then they would have said, well, you said it was okay. So that's why, another reason why I didn't want to buy it in the store and have them unpack it and have me sign off on it. On appliances, if you buy one, like a refrigerator or a TV, take a picture of the serial number on it. One guy here in the neighborhood went and bought a TV down at the store, a big one, and of course we're on motorcycles. We can't throw it in a car to bring home, so it gets delivered. Well, they delivered one that was broken, a different one than what he had looked at. So if you buy something and that's exactly what you're buying, not a model of it, then get the serial number, make sure it matches of what they deliver. That's pretty much it, and good luck on getting any jobs done. Most of the guys are pretty good if they have the experience, but you've got to make sure they're up to your standards of completing the job with the finishing touches, of sealing it or doing whatever for whatever type handyman you have done. So God bless, till next time.